being cast out of the kingdom. They're scared of being excommunicated.
Yeah, I dealt with a lot of people, first when I retired from the military, and then more recently, leading up to the last election, where, I was entertaining the deal of doing some work for government, believe it or not. And because as we talk more, you'll figure out I'm pretty anti.
People should absolutely rethink what they know about Harbor Freight Tools. It's not the same tool company you can do. My name is Wes Farmerlink. I'm the Senior Vice President of Quality and Engineering. It's really the passion that we all share at Harbor Freight, making sure that we deliver the highest quality tools.
A Brief History of Drinking, presented by ABC.
The Beer Funnel, designed to deliver cheap beer at unbridled velocities. Hunch punch. No one...
Institutions. I'm really against those types of things. But I really felt, if you would have asked me 3 years ago how I felt about the Trump election and all of that stuff, I was very excited because he was saying a lot of things that I wanted someone to say. Trump fits a pattern, and this is what people, I think, kind of lack when they... My whole life is built around pattern analysis. I really enjoy patterns and exhuming and looking into patterns. And there's a pattern of like you'll laugh when I say this first part of the pattern, but then I'll make it make more sense later. But he fits the pattern. Well, first he's a Jacksonian, and in that he's a pragmatic person, the way that he governs, which I liked, or at least I did. And there's some things he's done recently that I don't enjoy. And but he's also an outsider or a savior type, a la I don't remember the movie, but The Magnificent Seven back in the day. I don't remember the actor's name. There's this group of there's this western town. Everything's going to shit. These 7 guys walk in. I think Chris Pratt remade it with Denzel Washington or someone else.
Oh, really?
I think so. I can't remember. But there's an old one that I used to watch with my grandpa.
God, there's too many movies.
Yeah, and there's this pattern where you wouldn't invite these guys to a dinner party. You wouldn't want them in church on Sunday. But when a system is so corrupt and so horrible, you have to rely on these types of people to come in and be a check to the system. But then also you don't want them to stick around when the system is reset. So there's a scene in the movie where he says, man, these 7 guys are talking. They said, man, these people must have really wanted us. Like, it's crazy. They must be happy we're here. And I think it's Gary Cooper or someone, or one of these guys looks at him and says, they're going to be even happier when we leave. And Trump kind of fits that narrative. Wolverine from the X-Men would be another one who fits this narrative. Like, is he going to be at the X-Men Christmas party? No. Right? Is he trying to hit on Scott Gray's wife, Cyclops? I'm a comic nerd, so I'm sorry. Right. Is he trying to sleep with Cyclops' wife? Yes. Did he chop a guy's head off and throw it at a car? Yes. But we're about to go face Galactus, and we're going to need him. And so we have to put up with all of this other stuff because we understand that when the system is corrupt at every level, you need someone who's outside of the system to come in and set the system right. It's a Western pattern as well. Other people who fit this would be like Patton, right? Married his cousin, slapped soldiers who
Did he really? He married his cousin?
Yeah, I think it's his 3rd cousin.
How many cousins removed does it become okay?
I don't know.
Is it 3rd, 4th?
If there's blood...
Have you never met them?
I'm Icelandic, so I really can't say anything, right? They literally have apps in Iceland. Like my grandparents and my great-grandparents are all from Iceland. They settled in Manitoba, Gimli, Manitoba, which is this Icelandic community, and they literally have apps in Iceland to make sure you're not dating your cousin. So, less than
such a small community,
less than 1 million people on one island. So you're trying to prevent that stuff. But anyway, Patton, slapped soldiers who had tuberculosis. One of them probably had shell shock. It got in the newspaper. They wanted his head, and thankfully the generals were like, "No, he's the guy that we need for the moment." Right? He had the ivory pistols, and he dressed not like a general. He didn't talk like a general. He wasn't like a Eisenhower where he had the veneer of a general. But we knew he was the only guy we could have at the Battle of the Bulge. Like the Germans talked about him like he was already a mythic legend in his lifetime. But the part of this pattern that people should understand, or when they examine this pattern, is it never ends well for these anti-heroes. They're always killed or defamed in the final analysis. So when the Magnificent Seven come in, they'll go to another town and all get killed. When Patton retired, he died in some weird Jeep accident. Wolverine, he's the only guy left on this desolate like world where the Hulk's in charge. And it's a horrible existence. Petraeus is another one. I briefed Petraeus. I worked for, not for him, but for people who worked for him in Iraq. And he was the guy that got us through with the surge. But he was really a weird guy when you